Welcome to Community Issues, a program designed to help you stay informed about matters affecting your community. This program is a production of this family radio station. Now here's your host for today's edition of Community Issues.
This is WFCH in Charleston. My name is Virginia Beehn. 1 in 4 children in our community are at risk of hunger. At the Lowcountry Food Bank, it's their mission to end childhood hunger in coastal South Carolina through a range of innovative programs. We're talking today with Erin Fisher, Chief Operating Officer for Lowcountry Food Bank. Welcome to the program, Erin.
Thank you, Virginia, for having me.
You do have a wide variety of programs that are available to school kids throughout the school year. Let's talk about some of them. I know one of them is Breakfast in the Classroom. Tell me about that project.
So Breakfast in the Classroom is a tremendously successful method that school districts are using to ensure that every child gets fed at the beginning of the day. In the past, many schools would offer breakfast before school started, and sometimes if kids were not able to arrive at school on time, or just because of the stigma associated with coming into school early to receive a free meal, many kids were not taking advantage of breakfast at school. And so we made this slight tweak to offer breakfast in the classroom. And so just through that small tweak, there's no stigma. Every child is receiving the breakfast, so children are not split up among those who are getting a free meal versus those who might not qualify for a free meal. Every child receives it, and it is a wonderful way to ensure that nutrition needs are satisfied before the school day begins.
So let me understand, every child, regardless of whether or not they would qualify normally, is offered a free breakfast in their classroom? That's
correct. It's a program that is offered through the school districts. The food bank has played a role in advocating for that. You know, we are just so proud of our school districts here in South Carolina who have really embraced that program.
That would be a wonderful boon for the family where the kids are very slow in getting up. By the time they've actually reached school without breakfast, now they're beginning to get hungry, and breakfast will be available.
Absolutely. And as we all know, the cost of cereal and milk continues to rise, and a box of cereal doesn't go too far. So even in households where families are getting ready together and getting to the bus together, just those few dollars every day that are saved so that the family can kind of sock away that little bit of money and save it and know that their child is going to receive a nutritious breakfast at school just takes a huge level of stress and worry out of the equation.
In addition to breakfast in the classroom, you also have something called Kids Cafe. Tell me about that.
The Lowcountry Food Bank has been running a program called Kids Cafe since 2000. So we've been doing it for 17 years, and it's a program nationally of Feeding America, which is our national nonprofit parent organization, if you will. And Kids Cafe is just such a fantastic program where we partner with after-school care providers, which can be any type of after-school program from a YMCA to a Boys and Girls Club to a Parks and Rec community center, anywhere that kids are going after school that may be in a situation where it's a low-income neighborhood and they may not be receiving dinner once they go home. We partner up with these after-school programs and provide a well-balanced meal every single day after school. So we are churning out meals here out of our Zucker Family Production Kitchen here in North Charleston and sending them all over the service area so that kids can have a meal every day. So we are serving thousands of children every single day after school. And these kids may not receive a meal and certainly not a well-balanced meal when they go home. This is just a great way to make sure that that burden is lifted just a little bit, especially from working families.
So if the children have breakfast in the classroom and an afternoon full meal at the Kids Cafe, what do they do on weekends when there is no school?
I'm so glad you asked. Really what we focus on at the food bank is thinking about all the times when kids are out of school. So schools are doing such a great job of providing nutrition when kids are there, But we really get concerned about the times when food insecure families are having their children at home and there may not be any food in the household. And weekends are a critical gap in that nutrition equation. So on the weekends, when you think about kids who are typically just running out of the school on a Friday afternoon when the bell rings, just filled with excitement for the weekend that lies ahead, about 1 in 4 children in South Carolina are having a very different feeling. They're very much afraid and anxious of going home for the weekend and facing empty kitchen cupboards and empty refrigerators. In the economy here in South Carolina, we have a service-oriented economy, and so we have many parents who are working on the weekends and don't work a typical Monday to Friday job. And so many kids are not only faced with those empty cupboards on the weekend, but there may not be a parent home to help them. And so we developed the Backpack Buddies program. We've been doing it for over 10 years, and Backpack Buddies is a unique solution to this gap in nutrition for children. On Fridays, the children at our Backpack Buddies schools receive a bag full of about 11 nutritious food items, and all of this food is food that doesn't need to be cooked. It's kid-friendly, so instead of needing a can opener, they can just, it's little pop-top cans, low-sugar fruit cups. We have Chef Boyardee macaroni and cheese and ravioli, and stuff that kids love. And you know what? They can help themselves. So rather than that hollow feeling and that sad feeling of having to go home on Friday afternoon, not knowing where your next meal is going to come from until Monday morning, these kids can go home with that bag. We hear from teachers that it really makes a difference in their readiness to learn when they arrive back at school on Monday morning.
How do you get the backpacks to the children so there is no stigma?
We work with each school a little bit differently. Our contact at the school sometimes may be a social worker, or it may be a guidance counselor, or it may be, one of those teachers that is just so passionate that they want to make sure they're satisfying the needs of the kids. We have just a champion in every school that's someone we partner with. Typically what we do is we pre-pack all of the bags, and at the school, when the kids are out at recess or are out of the classroom at some point during the day, usually the teacher slides their backpack of food inside of their current backpack so that no one is any the wiser.
We're talking today with Erin Fisher, Chief Operating Officer with the Lowcountry Food Bank in North Charleston. Could you give us some contact information for someone with a question we may not cover today?
Absolutely. If there is anyone out there who is in need of food assistance or is looking for a place for resources or would just like to get involved, the best way to reach us is through our website at www.lowcountryfoodbank.org, or just give us a call, 843-747-8146.
Would you repeat that information, make sure we have it correct?
You can visit us on the web at lowcountryfoodbank.org or call us directly at 843-747-8146.
We've been talking about ways that you help children get enough food during the school year, through breakfast in the classroom, through the kids' cafe in the afternoon, and for Backpack Buddies for the weekends. But now that school is ending for the summer, how do children get fed?
Summer is perhaps the most critical need of the entire year. People think about food banks and food pantries typically around the holidays, but summer is actually our time of greatest need. In the summer, nationwide, there are over 21 million children who are at risk of food insecurity over the summer. In the school year, the schools do such a fantastic job of feeding children during the day. We know where children are during the school year. We can get them food before they leave for the weekend. We can get them food for the after-school hours. But in summer, we lose that contact. And so we have 21 million children who are in need over the summer, and we have a hard time reaching them. In fact, we know that only 1 out of every 5 children who are experiencing hunger over the summer have access to resources. in order to get those meals that they need. Particularly here in South Carolina, it's over 300,000 children who are experiencing that need, who aren't getting the meals they need. And what happens when kids aren't getting meals over summer? It's not what you would expect. We see unhealthy weight gain because food that they have access to is very high in fat, sugar, and calories. It's not nutritious or well-balanced. We see kids experience summer slide. So all the research shows us that when kids aren't fed nutritious food or adequate food over the summer, that they actually aren't able to retain all of the great lessons and all of the great information that they learned over the school year. And we also see impaired brain development. And so when kids are coming back to school at the end of the summertime and they haven't been well fed all summer long, teachers have to work twice as hard to get them back up to speed. Providing meals and providing nutrition over the summer is a highly critical need. And we've done a lot of research around how do we get meals out to kids? The number one thing that we have learned is that lack of awareness is our biggest barrier to bringing kids to sites where we can get meals and get them the nutrition that they need. So the USDA has a program called the Summer Food Service Program. We just call it here Summer Meals. And we have a ton of excitement over the Summer Meals program. We have thousands of kids and hundreds of sites where kids can go to receive a meal. Any kid up to the age of 18 can come into one of our sites, no questions asked, and get a free meal. We are at places everywhere from YMCAs to Boys and Girls Clubs to Parks and Rec community centers. And the most important message for today is that we encourage people who are interested in receiving information as summer is quickly approaching, that if you know someone who could maybe use a meal over the summer, the best way to get that information is to text the word food to the number 877-877. So again, you would just take out your phone, put in the number 877-877, and text the word food to that number. You'll get an immediate response, and it will ask you your zip code, and you will get a response back immediately that tells you all of the sites close to you that are serving a meal and the time of the meal service. If you do not have a cell phone, you just pick up the phone and dial the number 211, just like you would normally dial 911. You just dial 211 and ask for the summer meal site in your area.
Would you give us your contact information one more time?
Please visit us at lowcountryfoodbank.org or give us a call at 843-747-8146, and we can connect you with pantries, after-school meal sites, summer meal sites, or any other resources that you might need.
We're talking today with Erin Fisher, Chief Operating Officer with the Lowcountry Food Bank in North Charleston. As we bring the program to a close today, what parting thoughts would you like to leave with us?
That there are so many resources available in the community that we would love to serve families that anyone knows that might be in need. Please reach out to us so that maybe you could save a few extra dollars by coming in and getting a meal or some food from the food bank.
Thank you so much, Erin Fisher, for being our guest today on Community Issues.
Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you, listener, for tuning in today. My name is Virginia Beehn, and this is WFCH, Charleston.
This has been Community Issues, a program designed to help you stay informed about matters affecting your community. The views expressed on this program are those of the participants and not necessarily those of Family Stations Incorporated. Thanks for listening today, and join us next week at this same time for another edition of Community Issues.
To learn more about Family Radio, a beacon of truth and hope to the people of this world, and our many wonderful resources, please go to www.familyradio.org or call us toll-free 1-800-543-1495.